I, 45 male, and my wife, 46, got married in December of 2019. I have a daughter, Cheryl, teen, with my ex-wife. My ex-wife passed away when my daughter turned 2. My wife has a daughter with her ex, Natalie, nearly adult. Her ex-husband decided he did not want to be a part of Natalie's life. Natalie thinks I will abandon her as her father did, but I promised her that I was here for the long run. Natalie and Cheryl get along okay. Natalie works part-time at a local chain. For Cheryl's recent birthday, I bought her a PlayStation 5 and a few games. For Natalie's, I bought her a brand new iPhone and some clothes. Unfortunately, she broke the phone, and we got her a new one through warranty. Natalie has claimed multiple times that I favor my daughter over her, which is untrue. Natalie came home from school and showed us the broken phone. It was completely smashed, and we asked what had happened. She tells us a new TikTok trend was going around where people smash their phones and are rewarded with a new one. My wife and I looked at her and told her that we did not have a new phone. Natalie freaked out and started screaming at us. My wife told her to go to her room and stay there for the rest of the night. A few hours later, my wife's parents called me a horrible stepfather and showing favoritism between the kids. Am I the idiot for not purchasing my stepdaughter a new phone? For intentionally smashing it? Are you kidding me? My God, of course you're not the idiot, but the grandparents need talking to. She needs to be grounded. Not rewarding bad behavior is not favoritism. I would tell Natalie that she can have a new phone when she buys it herself. Agreed. The wife should talk to her parents and clarify the situation. Explain they both got great gifts on the birthdays, sounding equal but different, tailored to each girl's interest. That Natalie already broke it once and they got it replaced via the warranty, and she deliberately chose to destroy it a second time, and that is why she'll have to earn the funds to buy herself the next one, so she understands the value. Also, maybe letting the grandparents know how much it initially costs, since if they happen not to have an iPhone, they will appreciate the amount of money, and that OP is careful not to play favorites. I guarantee you the story she told her grandparents was vastly different from what went down, and their reaction is based on the version from Natalie. TikTok is telling me to smash my phone and then I'll get a new one. So can we get my new phone now? This girl is nearly adult, and she's letting a bunch of dumb internet strangers make her think that she'll get her way because they said so? Seriously? You are not the idiot, but please tell her you're getting her a new one and get her one of those toddler phones. Tell her it's a phone to match her maturity. Did she tell her grandparents the entire story about her intentionally smashing her phone for TikTok? If that doesn't change their tune, they can buy her a new phone to fulfill the TikTok challenge. Also, she is incredibly manipulative to the point of being cruel to you. It's not okay that she's making you prove that you care about her as much as your other daughter. It's not like Cheryl smashed her gaming system and you bought her a new one. Natalie is in dire need of some emotional help. Please look for a therapist for her. It will help so much. She's already expressed her trauma and pain responses to you, but this TikTok trend concept is such a loud cry for help that it's not even funny. She's testing you by doing something extreme to see if it'll scare you away. Sit down and talk with her calmly. Don't be mad or snide. Explain to her what she did to her phone was not the correct choice, and ask her what she was hoping to gain from it. Explain what phones cost and how it's not a throwaway item. I don't think you're the idiot, and neither is she. She just needs help. My wife has huge hips and a relatively small waist, so she gets stared at pretty much wherever she goes. And I mean this literally. She cannot go a block without someone turning their head or checking her out as she passes by. She said she is used to this. The other day, she wore these tight gray yoga shorts and this white workout shirt with no sleeves that exposed her belly button when we went to the park. It was still pretty hot, probably the last time it'll be that hot for a while, so many people were there. There was this big group of guys around our age, young 20s, playing soccer while my wife ran around the track. But this group of guys seemed to appreciate the view of my wife because they kept staring at her or even whistling, which made my wife uncomfortable. So she asked me if I could say something to them. So I walked up to all of them and asked them nicely to stop making comments towards my wife. They pretty much laughed me off and even heard some pretty crazy things said. I went back to my wife and told her we should just leave if the comments were going to bother her, because it didn't look like they would stop. So my wife said, forget it. We cut our time at the park short. We get in the car, and she is all ticked off and even angry with me. Said I wasn't aggressive enough with them and should have been telling them instead of asking them and not saying please to them. I defended myself and said I was talking that way because they were a huge group of rowdy guys, so getting aggressive with them would have ended even worse. She said I didn't make her feel safe in that situation, which stung because no man wants to hear his lady say that. I told her that if she wanted to feel safe, she wouldn't have worn such a revealing outfit when there were so many sporty dude bro types around. She looks at me and says that she can't believe I just said that. I told her I didn't mean it like that, but she said that there was no other way to mean it. We drove home in mostly silence. I didn't like hearing my wife say I didn't do a good job of making her feel safe. I did what I thought was best during the situation. If she didn't like it, she could have confronted them herself. And I'm sorry, but my wife knows that if we go to this park with a lot of dude bro types wearing an outfit like that, she'll get unwanted attention. It shouldn't be like that, but it's how reality is. Am I the idiot, or is my wife? I love her, but I gotta know. You are the idiot. No, I don't think you're an idiot for not starting a fight with them, but you are a massive idiot for pretty much telling her that it was her fault she was harassed. From what you say, she gets this kind of attention no matter what she wears. Regardless, you blaming her for how they behaved sure didn't reassure her that she's safe with you. Everyone's the idiot here. She's not your property. You don't get to tell her how to dress. The guys in the park are idiots for obvious reasons. She's the idiot for expecting you to aggressively defend her against the bunch of idiots playing football once you'd already tried to reason with them. That's not going to end well. I don't think his comment was out of line, nor was he telling her how to dress. All he did was point out that the rude dudes would stare if she dressed like that, and if she doesn't want it, she can choose to wear something else. He didn't tell her to change. He didn't tell her not to wear it anymore. He didn't tell her she can't leave the house like that. Y'all are looking to blame him when she's all mad about nothing. OP is not the idiot here. If you wanted to feel safe, then nothing. She has a right to feel safe. She doesn't have to do anything special or extra to earn the right not to be harassed and made to feel unsafe. Shame on you. Tell me, what exactly does she have to wear to have a right to feel safe in a public space and to not have her body treated as public property? Knowing people will be gross doesn't mean it's her job to change her life. Women covered head to toe face street harassment, but hey, if you don't want to die in an accident, you shouldn't have driven a car, right? We all know how road ragers can be. My husband was in an accident and is on temporary bed rest while he heals from surgery. The accident happens where my in-laws live, so we haven't been able to fly home. Their house is huge, and they already had a buzzer system from back when his late grandfather was sick. So mother-in-law suggested my husband use it to let us know if he needs something. Well, my husband has, to everybody's surprise, been a nightmare patient. He uses the buzzer nonstop, usually to get my attention. Whoever hears it first will drop everything and go running to him, and he would almost 90% of the time ask them if they could ask me to come to the room. He normally never has a serious request, besides wanting me to sit with him, which is fine sometimes, but we also have a toddler I need to take care of. So I asked him repeatedly if he could tone it down. He only got worse after that, to the point where the buzzer was going off every 15 minutes because I wasn't coming quick enough. I finally took the buzzer away from him yesterday after I was trying to put our toddler down for a nap, and he kept buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. My husband is angry at me and accused me of leaving him helpless. I reminded him that he had a phone and he could text me if he needed something serious. He said that wasn't the same since I always forget my phone and he might need someone else. Everyone else is divided. I think some people are secretly relieved, but my mother-in-law especially wants me to give it back to him because she's worried he might try to get things himself and hurt himself if he can't reach us with the buzzer. Am I the idiot? You are not the idiot. You have a toddler. Oh, sorry, two apparently. He could get the things he needs in one go and be fine for a while. Just leave everything within reach. And with the mobile tech, he can certainly entertain himself. Mother-in-law can sit with him if she's worried. Not the idiot. However, this line has me wondering. My husband has, to everybody's surprise, been a nightmare patient. Serious question. Since this behavior seems odd and out of character for him, and he's not listening to simple reason with your request, did he perhaps experience a head injury, or head impact, or concussion during the accident? Not the idiot. His mom and the rest of the family can't take over for OP because the husband always asks them to send in OP. OP, you need to lay it out for your husband. I will help you and take care of you, but it would help if you respected that I can't be with you 24/7. If you're bored, we can find books to read, games, music, or movies and TV. The world has many choices. I suggest you and the in-laws start a shift rotation. You constantly bring dinner and maybe lunch and have a shift that rotates with his family. This prevents burnout. I like the shift idea. It sounds like he might be lonely. Now, don't kill me, but instead of a buzzer, what about a two-way baby monitor? The person on shift can carry it around with them and determine what he needs and how urgent the request is. Or a family text chat so everyone can see how urgent the need is, but the person on shift can go complete it. Or put him in the hub of the house instead of in his room away from everyone. I, nearly adult female, was basically raised by my aunt, 38. My parents never had the time, and since my aunt works from home, they'd always drop me at hers on their way to work and pick me up at 10 p.m., if they did. I have my own room, my own clothes, and even my own bathroom at her house. They dropped me there since I was a toddler, and until I was 14, I stayed over every day. I'd only visit my actual house on weekends, basically. We have a special bond. She knows everything about my life, and I know everything about hers. It's probably because she was very young when she started taking care of me that we've created this friendship kind of relationship. I still visit her all the time, and we go out every Tuesday. Well, among the secrets that she's told me is that she's a lesbian. When I was 12 and honestly didn't care, she told me that it wouldn't change anything in our relationship. Last week, she told me that she was going to tell the whole family. So on Saturday, we all meet at my grandma's and she told them. Keep in mind that they are all very conservative, so they flipped out at her, saying that she was a failure and stuff like that. I stood by her the whole time, but after a while, my brain just shut off until I heard my mom saying that I wasn't going to see her anymore because she's a bad influence. I told her that yes, I'd still visit her every day, and that I've known her secret since I was 12, and that didn't make me gay. She then told me I wouldn't be welcome at her home anymore, and I said something along the lines of, "My home is her house. You guys didn't raise me, and I'm not even sure if I can call you guys my parents." I might have crossed a line there, but it's not like they didn't cross several others. My mom then told me I would have to choose between them or her, and without hesitation, I chose her. We were basically kicked out of the house. I drove us to my parents' house, grabbed some of my stuff, and then went to my now home. I had to comfort her all night. I also had to adjust my schedule because her house was farther from school than my old house, so I would have to take the bus. I've been living with her for about a week now, and it's been amazing. My mental health couldn't be better, and I have absolutely no regrets, though most people who hear this think I shouldn't have talked to my parents like that, nor have chosen my aunt over them. Was I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your parents sound like awful people on so many levels. Seriously, why would they pick you up at 10 p.m. or not at all? She was there for your family, and they couldn't be there for her for this? The person who raised their daughter is just disowned like that? You're exactly where you should be. Not the idiot. Whoa, a lot to take in here. Dude, you did the right thing. Who is telling you that you should choose your parents, etc., etc.? If it's your friends, trust me when I say that they are far more immature than you. Your parents went too far. I know it hurts having lost your parents at this time, but you made a very mature decision and stood up for someone who was being berated. You're a winner in my book. Live your life happily. It sounds like your parents put a damper on your spirits, even before this situation. Nothing wrong with loving from a distance. Not the idiot. People can say whatever they want, but they can't say that they do something different unless they were actually in the situation. From what you have told, it sounds like your parents were not prepared to be parents if that's how you were treated growing up. I'm glad your aunt was able to step up to the plate, even if it wasn't the normal kind of parental figure you got. I hope she accepts who she is and learns to love herself and not give them a second thought. Best of luck. I, 30 female, am not a perfect person. Far from it, actually. When I was drinking, I was not an easy person to love. I made terrible decisions, and I hurt the people I love the most. However, for the last 4 years, I've been sober and have worked hard every day at repairing my life and fixing all the burnt bridges. I am happy to say that now my life is going fantastic. I have an amazing career, a loving fiancé, and a very happy life all around. My problem lies with my younger sister, 25, who doesn't seem to be able to move on from my past. She likes to bring it up frequently and at inappropriate times. For example, I visited her one day at her work and I brought her a latte. She took her latte from me and then loudly announced to her coworkers that there had better not be any rum in the lattes, and then went on to explain to everyone that I was recovering. I felt like some freak show exhibition. She constantly does this kind of thing to me, and I find it extremely hurtful. She tells her friends and coworkers about my past all the time. Sometimes she even tells random people in stores, etc. She even told my elderly mother-in-law to be, even though my fiancé and I had decided not to. I finally snapped yesterday and told her if she didn't stop this behavior, I would not continue to have a relationship with her and wouldn't be invited to my wedding. I don't feel that everyone needs to know about my past, and I would strongly prefer it that way. I don't feel like I'm hiding anything, but I want to move on and not have it be the center of my life anymore. My family said I was wrong to say this. My sister is just looking out for me and making sure that I stay on the straight and narrow. Apparently, I should appreciate that she cares so much. To me, I find it to be unnecessarily humiliating. I have given her no reason to think that I'll start drinking again, nor do I ever intend to. I think it's also important to note that she was living in a different state when I was actively drinking, so she never actually witnessed me at my worst. I hope this makes sense, but am I the idiot if I cut my sister from my life? Not the idiot in the slightest, regardless of your past. Proud of your sobriety, by the way. You have the right to set boundaries and expect respect from your loved ones. She has chosen to ignore them and instead continue to disrespect the person you are today. The person you are today deserves respect, love, and kindness. Instead, it's almost like she wants you to relapse. Announcing your past to the world isn't how to keep you on the straight and narrow. It's how people continue to feel shame, guilt, and in return, have a hard time moving forward in sobriety. The sister may be dealing with anger, hurt, and resentment from things the OP did or said while under the influence and trying to get some revenge. OP wants to move on, but sister doesn't sound ready to. OP is right to set boundaries for herself, and her sister should look into better ways to work through her trauma. Therapy is a good place to start. She was probably the good child when OP was at her worst, and now can't stand that OP is in such a good place. You are not the idiot, OP. Your sister is, though. Does she believe you would bring her a latte with rum to her workplace? She seems to enjoy telling people about your past. She's insecure and needs to knock you down a peg to feel better about herself. You absolutely do not need to invite negative and nasty people to your wedding, family or not.